What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel. Huddle watch alongs with recruits. When y'all see a smile like this, y'all already know it's an offensive playmaker that's on the show. I cannot hide the smile when we got ourselves a dynamic offensive playmaker. On today's show, for those of you guys that like a running back that can do it all, a guy that's physical in between the tackles, can get you the tough, old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust. However, he can also be a home run threat on every single play. When he hits that second level, he's gone and can be a true 3-down back for you. This is your episode. 3-star running back CJ Givers is a absolute monster. Like I said, 3-down running back that can do just about everything you want from a running back, and he can give you those tough in between the tackle yards. He's got that versatility that you like, someone that at the next level is going to wreak havoc, not just in the run game and the pass game as well. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the superstar himself, coming off a 20-plus touchdown season. 3-star running back in the 2026 class. CJ Givers, how's it going, bro?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on, bro. So let's get right into it. You're coming off of a fantastic season, put up NCAA 25 video game numbers. For those in the chat, get them up to speed on how 2024 was for you and the squad.
Yep. So 2024, we kind of in Georgia, they went down from 7A to 6A. So we were in a new division. So we started off with a couple rough games. First couple games started off 2-2, so got to a shaky start of the year, but we started to pick things up. Got 6 wins in a row, ended the season 8-2, and just kept it going in the playoffs and got all the way to the semifinals.
So 1,400 rush yards, 21 touchdowns. That kind of production, like I said, is something that we do with a remote controller in our hands. Yeah. If I'd have told you last year going into this year, you would have had that level of production, what do you think your response would have been?
I mean, last year, I think I had more touchdowns last year than I did this year. So I'm not sure if I would have been too surprised. But the thing, my biggest difference from last year to this year is the amount of carries I did it on. I mean, my sophomore year, I had 200 carries for 1,400 yards and like 25 touchdowns. And this year, I had 150 carries for 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns. So it's just
that's crazy impressive.
Yeah, appreciate that.
The reason that's impressive too is because you knew you were going to see more stacked boxes coming into this year. Was there anything you had to adjust either in your running style or just how you approach the game? No, okay, ain't no secret now. Like, you know what I'm saying? When the second the ball is snapped, that defensive coordinator is thinking, I'm putting 8 in the box and I'm just gonna pray, 3 don't beat me. Did that change how you prepared for football games this year, knowing defenses would be in on you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, almost every game this season, I faced an 8-man box. So mostly, for the most part, it was just me going in there, reading it before the play, kind of, Obviously, I might be running 26 power, 27 power, but kind of looking at where the linebackers are before the play and kind of anticipating where I'm going to have to make my cut and where I'm going to have to go after the play starts.
So one of the things that's interesting, too, about last year is if y'all scroll down his Twitter timeline, the offers started coming in hot and heavy. It almost seems like it was either offer or, hey, make sure you post this so everyone knows that we still got you in mind. What's that like balancing during the season, though, CJ, when you obviously you and the team have a goal trying to reach the playoffs? Like you say, you're in a new division this year. You rip off 5 straight. That takes a different level of focus. How is that balancing? All right, I got to make sure I text this coach back. I'm trying to set up this visit while you're still trying to strive for that team and individual goal.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, obviously you're focused on the team's first, the season's first. Junior season is the most important season, so you want to make sure that your focus is there, but also making sure you're texting all the coaches back and just really just making sure you're staying on top of all that recruiting. And my dad helped me a lot with that, staying on top of all that, setting up all these visits, talking to coaches, hopping on the phone with coaches. So I had a lot of help with the recruiting side so I could focus on the football side of all of it.
I like that you had that help. I like
Yeah.
that one of the first things. First off, you were like, you obviously got to focus on keep the main thing the main thing. But I like that you had somebody at home that would help too, because it can be extremely overwhelming. I think from the outside looking in, people are just like, I mean, it's just returning text or phone calls. But you're gonna work out with your team. You got school. You got workout outside of school. You try to have a life, be a son and a brother, a best friend, a boyfriend, and then you're trying to fit in visits. It ain't as easy as it sounds on paper. But I like
Yeah.
that you had that game plan where, all right, this can be overwhelming if I don't try to have a little bit of structure with this. So when I say it can be overwhelming, we're gonna touch on a few of these here, because if we touch on all of them, we're gonna be here all day. So if you don't get me, I promise the offer is probably still there. There's just a few that they jump out at you. One of the ones that jump out when you look at any running back, it's Wisconsin. It's RBU. You think of Melvin Gordon, you think of Ron Dane. When you think of running the football and close your eyes, Wisconsin's one of the first schools you think of. What was it like getting that offer from Wisconsin, knowing they're one of the programs that have a storied history of running the football?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, as soon as I got that call, I was just shocked. I mean, that is one of the RBUs right there. I mean, so many great running backs have came out of there, and that's just huge for me, just knowing that myself as a running back can play at that level of school that produces that type of running backs. It's just huge and very cool for me.
And then another school that produces some of the best athletes and running backs. One of them currently went back on staff and is the running backs coach. You got to go down there and see that Clemson atmosphere, which again, at the top 10 college football atmosphere, right? When people have their bucket list, it's a night game. Going to see a night game there. But what is it like getting to relate to a guy like CJ Spiller, who has been in your position, was recruited, was a guy that can hit a crease and be gone, just like you? How's that relationship develop with CJ Spiller over there at Clemson?
Yeah, Coach Bo is a great guy. I mean, we are texting all the time. I mean, he just really like can see it from the running back's eyes, and it's just having him play in that position and just being able to relate to him so much, it's helped a lot. And I mean, like he understands what it's like to be a running back, and the wear and tear over the season and everything like that. And he's very motivational, tell me keep going and all those types of things. So.
And for those of y'all that are going, oh, why you say when you see CJ Spiller, you see him too? No, we're not done mentioning schools. But for those of y'all wondering why, it's because when you look at a running back like you and a running back like CJ, there's that ability to hit a crease and just be gone. But the versatility you have on something like this too gives me CJ vibes as well. Have you always just been that guy where ball in my hand, I can make something happen, whether it's punt return, kick return, swing something out the backfield? Have you just always been put me in space and I'll get it done?
Yeah, absolutely. That has always been me. My coach has always known just get CJ the ball and he'll make something happen with it. So
What's the key to being an elite kick returner, though? Because it is a bit of a different skill set. It's not
yeah.
like, oh, we just put a running back there and he gets done. And then you see some teams that's like, okay, we got a 10-2 guy. But that doesn't make him an elite kick returner just because you have the speed. If you could pinpoint what it is that makes you such a dynamic kick returner, what do you think that is?
For me, it's the ability to stop and start really fast. The acceleration is huge. You catch the ball, you got to see your crease, but it might close. You got to go to hit another crease. So that's like a big thing. And also, it's just the vision. You got to be able to see like where blockers are developing and just know where to go based off of that.
I was about to mention your vision here in a second too. Some of the best vision you will see on film. It's almost as if the game is slower. And I know it has to be to see you in some of these jump cuts. When did the game start slowing down for you, CJ? When you felt like on a run like this, where someone will say, okay, well, he was barely touched before he stiff-armed dude, but that's because you set this up and then kept your eyes downfield. You see green space like no other running back on film. But that means to me that means while the play is going, you can diagnose and go, all right, if I stiff arm this dude, I see the crease now. The game is slower for you, bro. When did it start slowing down to where you could diagnose mid-play like this?
I would say really this year is when it started to slow down for me. I mean, throughout the season, I just started seeing a lot more creases, holes, and I was just able to, hit those holes and just it really like I've always had the mentality of okay, no one dude is gonna take me down, and that's just those games slowing down is just out with that a lot more as well.
And then the speed and the patience. See, that's why the CJ Spiller comparison just kept on. It couldn't leave my head once I saw the Clemson offer because I'm thinking, oh, he reminds me so much of him. Because if someone with this kind of speed, you would assume, all right, he gonna overrun blocks. There's gonna be times where he's not gonna have the patience to hit it. But you do have that patience, understanding how to set up your block, and then I'm gone. When did that kick in, bro? Because a lot of times when we're younger, we ain't patient. When do you felt like you became more of a patient runner?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, when I was growing up, one of my favorite running backs was Le'Veon Bell, and I always just liked how he was so patient behind the line of scrimmage and how he just waited for all of his blocks to develop. And so I kind of that's not who I modeled my game after, but that's somebody who I like to kind of watch and just see what he did. And so I'll probably say around my freshman years when I started being a lot patient behind the line of scrimmage and being able to see the holes a lot more.
Now, when you see a guy that we say has home run potential, or that has the big play speed, fans' first thought is, okay, well, he's probably a speed guy. But you said it earlier. You pride yourself on the first guy is not getting me. You're never getting me with an arm tackle.
Yeah,
whether you're first or fifth, you're just never getting me with an arm tackle. The physicality side of playing running back. Now we see the stiff arm, but you like putting your head down. You don't mind getting the tough yards in between the tackles. You feel like that goes a little bit underrated because when you pop on a highlight, we see CJ go 60, and they don't get to see that you smile just as big when it's a 3-yard run and you put your helmet in a linebacker's chest. You feel like that goes underrated because of the explosive highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of playing football, putting that shoulder down, just running some dude straight over. I mean, there's nothing like that feeling. And I mean, I am not one to shy away from contact. I will run anybody over. It does not matter.
No disrespect to anybody on the film, but when I say drag somebody, when people usually say somebody got dragged, right? They never really drag somebody. Yeah. It's usually, so they ran them over a little bit.
Yeah.
About 10 yards, bro. What's the sideline like? What's the squad like after this run? Because I know at some point they're used to, all right, that's 3 doing 3. He gonna break off one. Especially if you stack the box, eventually he gonna make 1 or 2 of y'all miss. And I know the sideline thinking, oh, he finna get loose. But on a play like this, what's the sideline like after you done drag somebody 10 yards, then you barreling over 3 more people? What's the squad like after this?
Man, we was all hyped. That was the first game of the season. They were the reigning state champs. So after that run, it was just crazy. I mean, we were getting hyped. It was insane.
Do you enjoy being that tone setter? Obviously, as a junior now, last year, you're more of a leader in the locker room now. Guys are looking towards you, like you said, first of the year, reigning state champions. We in a new conference. They all probably looking at 3. Like, okay, but if 3 can get loose, if 3 show up, we feel like we got a shot. You feel like your mindset was a bit different being that leader in the locker room and that guy that was going to set the tone for the year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always pride myself with leading by example and going into a game. If, guys are a little bit concerned because we're going up against a great team, if I just go out there, first play of the game, just run somebody smack over or something like that, and the guys see that, they're like, okay, it's time to go, kind of like, okay, look what CJ's doing out here, it's time to go. So that's just a big thing.
Everybody get hyped. Receivers get hyped too because they like, oh, I mean, we get man now. Yep. If he's running like that, that means we get man all game now because they have to stack the box. Everyone's excited. The defense is like, oh, see, and then the fourth quarter gonna come. Defense like, oh, CJ gonna ground and pound the fourth quarter. We probably gonna get a couple extra minutes to chill because we gonna have the time of possession. Everybody's excited.
Yeah,
but I want to take it back to college now because there's a school that's on your offer list that you have to love it, but your parents got to love it as well. When you talk about Duke, obviously we think about football, we think about basketball, but Duke is an academic institution, bro. Like you don't get a Duke offer without being able to do what you can do on the field, but be elite in the classroom as well. When an offer like that comes through, How proud of your parents to know that, all right, he can break off a 60-yarder too, but he also has the GPA that makes an academic institution like Duke excited.
Yeah, that's a huge part, especially for my mom. You know, she's a teacher, so she always cares about the academic part of all of it. So just both my parents just seeing me get that offer was huge because it means like, you know, my work in the classroom paid off as well. So I can go play at a school like Duke and just be able to have that type of opportunity on the academic side of all of it.
And they're a school that really changed their culture. I mean, they won under Elko, but under Manny Diaz, 9 wins in his first season. Looked like just one of those tough teams. Duke's one of those teams where you just don't want them on your schedule. Manny Diaz is a defensive coach. He's a tough-minded coach. Well, what did you like that you saw from that Duke atmosphere this year?
I mean, it was just rocking. I mean, you would think Duke, you know, just a bunch of students, you know, but it was rocking for sure, no doubt. I mean, it was loud there.
Another atmosphere you got to see, Georgia Tech. So you've been there a few times, but you got to see them in game. What was that atmosphere like, getting to see them boys in game, getting to see how they're coached in game, getting to see that atmosphere from that fan base?
Man, that's almost similar to Duke, you know. Georgia Tech, you just think a bunch of engineers, you know, but like even a 12 o'clock
They
game,
passionate, man.
it was crazy. I mean, they're really passionate about football at Tech, and I was very surprised.
I think they go unnoticed for how passionate they are. Like them fans, they show up, they show out, they're loud. And again, another tough football team. When you talk about that football team, that's another team that when they on the schedule, you got to buckle that chin strap.
Yeah,
Because you
no
know they gonna give it to you for 4 quarters. And it seems like that is a consistent theme down your offer sheet too. There's these tough Indiana. You look at what Indiana was able to issue to culture shift and the excitement around that program. How was it getting that offer from Indiana, knowing the trajectory that program is on in a conference in the Big Ten that again is known for hard-nosed smash mouth football?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, the Big Ten is one of the best conferences. It's Big Ten and the SEC. So just knowing I can play in that conference and just knowing Indiana, they're trending upwards. So it's gonna be cool to you know, down the road see if like that, you know, that's where I end up. But yeah, that was a big offer for me. That was really cool.
If we could time travel and I can go to 8th grade or 9th grade CJ and tell you, I can list you these offers. I can tell you Indiana is beating down your door. You got Northwestern, SMU, Kansas State, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Virginia Tech. What do you think, freshman, you would have said to that?
I don't think he would have believed you. I mean, he was not thinking about any of that. He was just, you know, it's just I do not think he would not have been thinking about any of that. It's crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
what do you think is the biggest difference from freshman CJ as a ball player to junior CJ as a ball player? If you could pinpoint the biggest difference.
I would just say, you know, the mental part of the game. I mean, the mental part of my game has just changed so much. I mean, I'm just able to understand things a lot more, see things, and it's like obviously watching the film part of it, and I can just pick up on tendencies from the defense and things like that. So it's just so different for me. I mean, I like when I was in 9th grade. I mean, I watched film, but I didn't like study film. You know what I mean? Now I'm studying film and understanding the film, and it's just so much different.
How much do you feel like that played a big part in the game slowing down for you this year? That dedication to film study.
Big time. I mean,
you see his head, he was like, yes.
yeah, I mean,
yes.
Like film study, and if you even just watching yourself, watching what you do, what you could have done in certain situations, you know, that just helps out big time. Because if you study it, it's in your mind, and then when you're in the game or in practice, then you're practicing that, and you can just get better and better every time.
The reason I keep running this play here is when I say 3 down back, I mean true 3 down back. How much pride do you take in that and being a guy that can be just as big of a weapon pass game to where, all right, you want to stack the box, my offensive coordinator can find a way to put the ball in my hands, but not just, all right, it's a 2-yard. We ain't 2-yard swing route. Like, we trusting you with a wheel route. We know he's got the hands. How much do you put that effort in to be that complete 3-down guy?
I don't want to come out the game ever. I don't want to have to, be in our first and second down and then third and short come out the game. That is not who I want to be. I want to be a complete back, be able to do everything, because that's what the new back kind of looks like. Catching the ball at the backfields, putting the head down, getting those 2 yards. So there's in the NFL especially, there's no really backs that are one dimensional. So I just want to be a back that can do all of it.
Bro, that's what's going to give you that leg up at the next level too.
Yeah,
the ability and to block is what I was about to. Bro, when I first saw this, I said he put blocking on his highlight tape. He's one of my favorite human beings. Talk about the pride you taking that, because a lot of people not going to put blocking on their highlights because they're called their highlights. But to me, to put this on your huddle, that lets me know this was a play you wanted singled out. This is a play you take pride in. The 60-yard run to you clearly means just as much as this play because they back to back. How much pride do you take in that and being a solid blocker, a good blocker, an all-around football player?
So much. I mean, blocking is just a thing where it's like you want to do it for your teammates. They do it for you, so turn around and do it right back for them. It's like it's just really, honestly, I think it brings the team closer together, just knowing that those guys are blocking for you. It does so much.
And then the reason I love your dedication to it, and blocking a lot of times is just will. It's want to.
Yeah.
You loaf on this play, he don't score. It's that
exactly.
simple. He does not score if you loaf on this play.
Yeah.
That is the block that sealed it. So that's that accountability. That's that everyone doing their job.
Yeah.
That's somebody yelling at y'all. That's a coach that will not accept anything but your best. Give a shout out to you see give a shout out to the coaches that are making sure. I guarantee you, if I watch y'all's defense, it's probably all 11 running to the football.
Yep.
Who is that in the building that's making sure all 11 hats are on one accord and trying to do their best to make sure everyone shines on every play?
Yeah, it's no doubt my head coach, Coach Thompson. He is old school guy, about 60-some years old, and he just makes sure that, nobody's above the ball. Everybody's blocking, everybody's getting to the ball, everybody's physical, and he really just drilled it in the whole team's head. So nobody is gonna get away with, loafing or not blocking or anything like that.
You saw his face when I said that. That was trauma. And remembering a practice. That was a clear memory. I said, who was yelling? He was like, As soon as you finish talking, I'll tell you. But that's that accountability that translates on Fridays. You can see it. And what that does is when you have a CJ buy into that, you're going to be gone in a couple years from this school. Yeah. Somebody going to try to loaf in practice. But that legacy of working hard day in and day out is going to live on. They're going to stop somebody and go, nuh-uh, because if you're going to wear 3, you're going to have to work like 3 because 3 never lagged. He ran hard. He ran after practice. So they're not going to take it from somebody else. That's why he keeps screaming, because he knows that culture has to be intact. And he knows once guys like you buy in, the sophomores have no choice but to buy in. The freshmen have no choice but to buy in, because the freshmen looking at your account, looking at your Twitter going, well, how do I get a Clemson visit? How do you got to work hard Monday through Thursday, just like CJ. It don't just happen on Friday. You got to put that work in Monday through Thursday. Has that started happening to you where the younger guys are asking for your gloves or asking for advice on how to handle this? Have you become the big homie in the locker room now?
Yeah, a little bit. Now that I've been a junior, going to my senior year, a little bit of that's going on, Maybe they want some gloves, some college gloves or a towel or something like that. But, I understand because I used to be that guy too, asking for all the stuff. So for sure, I mean, it's just those young guys got to be a big leader for them at all times because, once you're gone, those will be the guys that'll be in your shoes. So, you want them to keep what's going on while you were there. So.
And I like that you handle everything the right way, even when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to being elite in the classroom, because that shows to you guys, all right, this is how I do it. If he did it this way and he's going D1, I just got to follow in them same footsteps. I need to make sure I'm turning in my schoolwork. I need to make sure I'm on top of my schoolwork. I need to make sure I'm not stressing out about visits. I need to prioritize when I can go and when the team needs me, whether I don't care if it's just running on Saturday. If they need me there, I need to be there. I love that you're setting that example. You said earlier, Le'Veon Bell is one of the running backs that you like to look up to. Who are some of the other guys you like to watch to model your game after? Because when we watched your film, that's not one running back. That's a combination of different skill sets. So who are some of the guys you like to watch and kind of take from?
A big one for me is Alvin Kamara. I watched him a lot
Oh, I
growing up.
see it.
A lot of guys have told me that I kind of run like Alvin Kamara. So I watched a lot of his tape and just see how he runs and just, with the balance and everything like that. And then another big one is Saquon Barkley. I mean, obviously one of the best backs in the game right now. So, try to model as much of my game after him as I can. So,
did your running back coach had to have a talk with you after that reverse jump Saquon did? Did they have to, hey, CJ, don't?
That was insane. I don't know how he did that. That was crazy.
I don't know how a man does that mid play. I really don't. I don't understand how a man does that mid play.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, it's crazy to see even you, who has done insane things mid play, was like, no, I'm not trying that.
I tried to practice over a bag, but not.
Did you pull it off?
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't gonna try it in game.
I don't understand. From a running back perspective, it's something I always wanted to ask a lot. When it comes to hurdling somebody, that's got to be something that when you did it for the first time, were you thinking about doing it or did it just happen?
For me, the dude that I jumped over, he was on the ground. So it was kind of just the instinct. So like I was just running and he was just there. So my automatic instinct was just jump. Just like an obstacle below you, just got to go right over it. So it's mostly just the instinct thing.
No, CJ. The rest of us don't have that. That's what no. The rest of us are not. If we're running the football, we don't have the Iron Man thing where we can scan and go, all right, opponent on the ground, jump him. That's what I mean by the game is slower for you. Because the rest of us would have tripped over that guy. And it would have been a 7-yard gain instead of a 67-yard touchdown. That ability to mid-play go, oh, he fell. Let me leap him real quick. That's different. I know that the humbleness in you is going, well, it's normal. No, that's not. That's 0.1% of people can do that. The rest of us are looking at you trying to figure out how in the world, without breaking stride, are you able to do something like that?
Yeah.
So crazy numbers this year, fantastic success from the team, deep playoff run. What are the goals for next year, going into next year, both for you individually and for the squad?
Yep. So obviously the big goal above all, that state championship, that was big for me. We were close this year. I mean, actually it was bad into the season because I got injured in the quarterfinal game and wasn't able to play in the semifinals, and we lost by 1 touchdown. So I was rough.
Bro hungry. Hungry now.
So,
yeah.
we gonna need that championship next year, absolutely. So, and then personal goals. I just want to hit that 1,500 rushing yard mark for sure. That's always been a big goal for me. And then just. Maybe 25, 30 touchdowns next year.
Let's go.
See how the season goes. So that's, yeah.
I like to say, speak it into existence. So next year, y'all going to win that ring. You're going to have 1,530. We're going to come back. We're going to watch that year's film. We're going to sit back and go, told you so. Speak positive things into existence. I know they're going to happen. I know the type of competitor you are. You're not going to rest until you're ready for that. But until then, let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, because I guarantee you my DMs are going to get hit with, what's his Twitter? What's his Instagram? How do I follow him? So let them know where they can follow you at on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, so my Instagram is CJ_Givers3. And my Twitter is just CJ_Givers.
I'm gonna put both of those in the description too, because I know y'all are gonna message me. So I'm just letting you know now they're both in the description, and it's huddle. What's great about their huddles too is next year, while you're like, oh, let me keep up with them next year. If you're a Virginia Tech fan, if you're a Clemson fan, if you're schools I did not mention, trust me, they're still on him. If you're Penn State, Miami, Florida State, yes, your coaches are well aware of who CJ is. So you're gonna want to follow him. And next year, what's cool is game after game, they'll upload them on his huddle. So you're gonna go, oh, CJ playing him this week. He playing this defense this week. I want to see what that looks like. So I'm gonna link his huddle down in the description. Make sure you bookmark that, because trust me, when it comes signing day, y'all gonna be asking me for his highlights. So I'm just letting you know they're down there already. CJ, I speak for my school. I speak for every school we've mentioned, and the ones that we did not mention that are on that list. We all hope that we land you in next year's class, because whoever lands you is not just getting an elite running back, they're getting an elite young man as well, and someone that can change the culture of a locker room, someone that is coming from a winning program and brings not just the winning mentality, but the hard work mentality. The second I started talking about coaches working all hard, y'all saw his face. He was like, oh yeah, we don't play about that where I'm from. The fact that they demand excellence from you lets me know that no matter what college locker room you step into after your senior season, you're going to be great. So I speak for my fandom and every fandom out there that's watching this, that we wish you nothing but good health and success. And we all have our fingers crossed, hoping that it's our hat you put on next year on signing day.
So
thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all go follow CJ. Do not wait until y'all see him break off an 80-yard run. You see me retweet it and you go, oh, that's the running back. What's his Twitter? It's in the description right now. Go follow him right now. Bro, I wish you nothing but good health and success. I hope you and the squad run that back next year and get that ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Anytime they stream y'all's games too, send it to me. I'll make sure I tweet it out this way. All the other fan bases can make sure they pull up and support you as well.
All right, no doubt.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow CJ right now.